What really are animals? Like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell for more videos. Animals, also referred to as metazoa, are multicellular eukaryotic organisms that form the biological kingdom Animalia. With few exceptions, animals consume organic material, breathe oxygen, are able to move, can reproduce sexually, and grow from a hollow sphere of cells, the blastula, during embryonic development. Over 1.5 million living animal species have been described, of which around 1 million are insects, but it has been estimated there are over 7 million animal species in total. Animals range in length from 8.5 millionths of a meter to 33.6 meters, 110 feet. They have complex interactions with each other and their environments, forming intricate food webs. The kingdom Animalia includes humans, but in colloquial use, the term animal often refers only to non-human animals. The scientific study of animals is known as zoology. Most living animal species are in the bilateria, a clade whose members have a bilaterally symmetric body plan. The bilateria include the protostomes, in which many groups of invertebrates are found, such as nematodes, arthropods, and mollusks, and the deuterostomes, containing both the echinoderms as well as the chordates, the latter containing the vertebrates. Life forms interpreted as early animals were present in the Ediacaran biota of the late Precambrian. Many modern animal phyla became clearly established in the fossil record as marine species during the Cambrian explosion, which began around 542 million years ago. 6,331 groups of genes common to all living animals have been identified. These may have arisen from a single common ancestor that lived 650 million years ago. Historically, Aristotle divided animals into those with blood and those without. Carl Linnaeus created the first hierarchical biological classification for animals in 1758 with his Systema Naturae, which Jean-Baptiste Lamarck expanded into 14 phyla by 1809. In 1874, Ernst Haeckel divided the animal kingdom into the multicellular metazoa, synonymous for Animalia, and the protozoa, single-celled organisms no longer considered animals. In modern times, the biological classification of animals relies on advanced techniques, such as molecular phylogenetics, which are effective at demonstrating the evolutionary relationships between animal taxa. Humans make use of many other animal species, such as for food, including meat, milk, and eggs, for materials, such as leather and wool, and also as pets, and for transports, as working animals. Dogs have been used in hunting, while many terrestrial and aquatic animals were hunted for sports. Non-human animals have appeared in art from the earliest times and are featured in mythology and religion. Etymology: the word animal comes from the Latin animalis, meaning having breath, having soul or living being. The biological definition includes all members of the kingdom Animalia. In colloquial usage, as a consequence of anthropocentrism, the term animal is sometimes used non-scientifically to refer only to non-human animals. Characteristics: animals have several characteristics that set them apart from other living things. Animals are eukaryotic and multicellular, unlike bacteria, which are prokaryotic, and unlike protists, which are eukaryotic but unicellular. Unlike plants and algae, which produce their own nutrients, animals are heterotrophic, feeding on organic material and digesting it internally. With very few exceptions, animals respire aerobically. All animals are motile, able to spontaneously move their bodies during at least part of their life cycle, but some animals, such as sponges, corals, mussels, and barnacles, later become sessile. The blastula is a stage in embryonic development that is unique to most animals, allowing cells to be differentiated into specialized tissues and organs. Structure: all animals are composed of cells, surrounded by a characteristic extracellular matrix composed of collagen and elastic glycoproteins. During development, the animal extracellular matrix forms a relatively flexible framework upon which cells can move about and be reorganized, making the formation of complex structures possible. This may be calcified, forming structures such as shells, bones, and spicules. In contrast, the cells of other multicellular organisms, primarily algae, plants, and fungi, are held in place by cell walls, and so develop by progressive growth. Animal cells uniquely possess the cell junctions called tight junctions, gap junctions, and desmosomes. With few exceptions, in particular, the sponges and placosomes, animal bodies are differentiated into tissues. These include muscles, which enable locomotion, and nerve tissues, which transmit signals and coordinate the body. Typically, there is also an internal digestive chamber with either one opening, in Ctenophora, Cnidaria, and flatworms, or two openings, in most bilaterians. Reproduction and development. Nearly all animals make use of some form of sexual reproduction. They produce haploid gametes by meiosis. The smaller, motile gametes are spermatozoa and the larger, non-motile gametes are ova. These fuse to form zygotes, which develop via mitosis into a hollow sphere, called a blastula. In sponges, blastula larvae swim to a new location, attached to the seabed, and develop into a new sponge. In most other groups, the blastula undergoes more complicated rearrangement. It first invaginates to form a gastrula with a digestive chamber and two separate germ layers, an external ectoderm and an internal endoderm. In most cases, a third germ layer, the mesoderm, also develops between them. These germ layers then differentiate to form tissues and organs. Repeated instances of mating with a close relative during sexual reproduction generally leads to inbreeding depression within a population due to the increased prevalence of harmful recessive traits. Animals have evolved numerous mechanisms for avoiding close inbreeding. In some species, such as the splendid Phaeon, Malaris splendens, females benefit by mating with multiple males, thus producing more offspring of higher genetic quality. Some animals are capable of asexual reproduction, which often results in a genetic clone of the parent. This may take place through fragmentation, budding, such as in Hydra and other cnidarians, or parthenogenesis, where fertile eggs are produced without mating, such as in aphids. Ecology. Predators, such as this ultramarine flycatcher, Physogyla superciliaris, feed on other animals. Animals are categorized into ecological groups depending on how they obtain or consume organic material, including carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, detritivores, and parasites. Interactions between animals form complex food webs. In carnivorous or omnivorous species, predation is a consumer-resource interaction where a predator feeds on another organism, called its prey. Selective pressures imposed on one another lead to an evolutionary arms race between predator and prey, resulting in various anti-predator adaptations. Almost all multicellular predators are animals. Some consumers use multiple methods. For example, in parasitoid wasps, the larvae feed on the host's living tissues, killing them in the process, but the adults primarily consume nectar from flowers. Other animals may have very specific feeding behaviors, such as hawksbill sea turtles primarily eating sponges. Hydrothermal vent mussels and shrimps. Most animals rely on the biomass and energy produced by plants through photosynthesis. Herbivores eat plant material directly, while carnivores, and other animals on higher trophic levels typically acquire it indirectly by eating other animals. Animals oxidize carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and other biomolecules to unlock the chemical energy of molecular oxygen, which allows the animal to grow and to sustain biological processes such as locomotion. Animals living close to hydrothermal vents and cold seeps on the dark seafloor consume organic matter of archaea and bacteria produced in these locations through chemosynthesis, by oxidizing inorganic compounds, such as hydrogen sulfide. Animals originally evolved in the sea. Lineages of arthropods colonized land around the same time as land plants, probably between 510 to 471 million years ago during the late Cambrian or early Ordovician. Vertebrates such as the lobe-finned fish Tiktaalik started to move onto land in the late Devonian. about 375 million years ago. Animals occupy virtually all of Earth's habitats and microhabitats, including saltwater, hydrothermal vents, freshwater, hot springs, swamps, forests, pastures, deserts, air, and the interiors of animals, plants, fungi and rocks. Animals are however not particularly heat tolerant. Very few of them can survive at constant temperatures above 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Only very few species of animals, mostly nematodes, inhabit the most extreme cold deserts of continental Antarctica. Diversity: the blue whale is the largest animal that has ever lived. Largest and smallest: the blue whale, Balaenoptera musculus, is the largest animal that has ever lived, weighing up to at least 190 tons and measuring up to 33.6 meters, 110 feet, long. The largest extant terrestrial animal is the African bush elephant, Loxodonta africana, weighing up to 12.25 tons and measuring up to 10.67 meters, 35.0 feet, long. The largest terrestrial animals that ever lived were titanosaur sauropod dinosaurs such as Argentinosaurus, which may have weighed as much as 73 tons. Several animals are microscopic. Some Myxozoa, obligate parasites within the cnidaria, never grow larger than 20 micrometers, and one of the smallest species, Myxobolus shekel, is no more than 8.5 micrometers when fully grown. Numbers and habitats. The following table lists estimated numbers of described extant species for the animal groups with the largest numbers of species, along with their principal habitats, terrestrial, freshwater, and marine, and free-living or parasitic ways of life. Species estimates shown here are based on numbers described scientifically. Much larger estimates have been calculated based on various means of prediction, and these can vary wildly. For instance, around 25,000 to 27,000 species of nematodes have been described, while published estimates of the total number of nematode species include 10,000 to 20,000, 500,000, 10 million, and 100 million. Using patterns within the taxonomic hierarchy, the total number of animal species, including those not yet described, was calculated to be about 7.77 million in 2011. With